Hey there, good day. We're here with you again, Jerry Usher, Debbie Georgianni on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We get to spend the next just shy of an hour together talking about the things of life, the things that make our lives hopefully better. And we're going to present a topic to you today, throw something out there, and see what you have to share, what your take is on that. So here's the phone number, 1-800-585-9396. Debbie, you got a big smile on your face today.
Does that have anything to do with, that's the topic of our show today? What does a smile do for you? That's what we're asking you today. Now, we know you're going to have something to say about this because we all know how to smile. As a matter of fact, it's not something you can really teach a human being. They are born with the ability to smile. Jerry, I didn't even realize this because I remember when my babies, my boys were infants, and we would coo and smile at them to get them to smile. They're born with the ability to smile because there was testing even done on blind babies, that the blind babies have the ability to smile. And so that's what we're asking about today. We're talking about smiles and what it means out there in the world. Can we weave it into our Christianity? Well, of course we can. Because I've heard it said that, how you behave and even how you present yourself may be the only gospel somebody reads. Think about that for a moment. So how you put yourself out there into the world, somebody is actually taking note of that. And smiles are a part of it. So we want to talk about that today. What does a smile do for you? 1-800-585-9396. That's the number to be on the show. And phone lines are already lighting up. You got a lot to say. Hope you're going to have a smile on your face when you're talking.
Well, as Debbie and I say quite often, sometimes in jest, but really it's kind of serious. You know, we're a little bit older now. We're both into our 50s. I know there are some of you older than that, even younger than that. But whatever age you are, maybe you've lived long enough to remember when it was just taken for granted that you would pass somebody on the street or see them in the supermarket, or just encounter people in daily life and smile, nod, even say a word, say hello, express joy, really as a way of courtesy, as a way of kind of recognizing the dignity of somebody else and trying to help them have a better day. And Debbie, it's my thinking anyway that we've lost a lot of that, and I'd like to hear what other people have to say, if they agree with that, or maybe wherever they go, people are flashing smiles at them right and left. I don't know. I want to hear what other people's experience is.
I do as well, Jerry. I think in this day and age, there's a lot of people that are just kind of nervous about what's out there, or kind of skeptical. I mean, I've been with actually a girlfriend one time shopping, and this wonderful lady and her friend was passing us on the sidewalk. It's an indoor-outdoor mall, and they were passing us, and one of the ladies smiled at my girlfriend. And my girlfriend turns to me and she goes, "Do I have something on my face or something? Why was she smiling at me?" And I said, "Maybe she was just smiling at you because she just, was being pleasant or something." She goes, "No, something must be wrong." So immediately she went to that place where she thought, "Why is this person smiling at me? What do they want? Are they making fun of me? Are they so we're at that place of where we're just unsure of what's really out there behind a smile.
Well, it's suspicion. It's suspicion. Maybe you distrust somebody who smiles at you. Or, here's the thing. Maybe you've smiled or said a kind word to somebody, and it's changed their demeanor, just the look on their face. And I've seen that happen where I've been in places, even at the gym or other places, and quite frankly, so many people are lost in their gadgets nowadays that even looking at other people is sometimes very rare. But I really try and make a point of saying hello to people and smiling. And Debbie, I have had people who just, their total face has changed.
Disarmed,
Sometimes it's a look of surprise, like,
a surprise, yeah.
Somebody talked to me.
Yeah.
But other times
true.
It's like they light up and they go, "Wow, somebody affirmed me for who I am." So,
right.
Folks, this is really, really deeply rooted in our faith. So let's have a conversation about it.
1-800-585-9396. Get on the show quickly because this brief hour, we call it brief because it really is. It's actually less than an hour, and it goes very quickly. So if you have something to say about it, now's the time to call in. You'll talk to Matt Kabinski. He'll speak to you for a few moments, put you on hold. You'll listen to the show live, so you won't miss a thing, and you can jump right into the discussion. We're talking about smiling today. Now, keep in mind that it actually is easier to smile because of the facial muscles in our face are stronger. So it's actually easier to smile. However, a lot of us choose to frown, which is actually harder to do because those are weaker muscles, but we frown just more readily. Why is that? Are we trying to let people know that we're down deep, we're really something's wrong, or are we trying to keep people at bay? That's another thing too, Jerry. If we smile, we're like you did with that person. You're bringing that person into an encounter with you. If you frown, you're kind of pushing them away. Wouldn't you say that's true?
Yeah. It's sort of maybe putting a barrier, maybe putting a wall up there, and we're not saying that you have to, everyone you meet say, hey, let's go have some coffee. We don't know each other yet, but hey, I want to buy you lunch or something. But really, it can just turn somebody's day and maybe their life around. It's maybe the person at the checkout stand in the store, a coworker, someone you meet just walking across a crosswalk on the street. So share your take on this.
Now is the time to make your plans for the 2017 EWTN Family Celebration. September 9th and 10th are the dates. And Worcester, Massachusetts is the place for our celebration of 100 years of Fatima. This is your chance to meet your favorite Catholic TV and radio hosts. Kids can have a fun-spirational time at EWTN's Faith Factory. And best of all, it's free. For more information, go to EWTN.com/family celebration.
This is Father Stephen Imbrato, Priest for Life with Pro-Life Update. The pastoral team of Priests for Life travels the nation and the world to spread the pro-life message and help local communities defend children in the womb. We are ready to come to your community too. Our full-time priests, our lay team, including Janet Marana, Alveda King, Brian Kemper, Kevin and Teresa Burke, and others. Father Wild even performs pro-life concerts in conjunction with his message. If you go to priestforlife.org/travel, you can request one or more of us to come. We speak at churches, schools, pro-life events, banquets, conventions, seminars, prayer vigils, marches, rallies, and any other pro-life activity or media you want to organize. Our team addresses all aspects of stopping abortion and brings healing after abortion. Go to priestforlife.org/travel. This is Father Stephen Imbrato on the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
Listen to EWTN Radio day or night. Audio on demand brings you your favorite EWTN programs, prayers, and devotionals instantly to you for free. Visit EWTNapps.com and get started today.
Hello, this is Bishop Ronald Gaynor of the Diocese of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
This is Michael Warsaw, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of EWTN.
This is Father Mitch Pacwa. Thanks for listening to the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
Wow, what a great show already. The phone lines are lighting up. We're talking about smiling today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. And so we're going to go right to the phones and hear what our listeners have to say. So I'm going to declare it, Jerry. Our first up award is Mary in Toledo, Ohio, unless you can come up with another name, Jerry. We got to think of another name. Listening on Annunciation Radio. Hi, Mary. You got our virtual first up award. Thank you for being so quick.
God. I just think the smile is the most wonderful thing that the Lord ever invented because it opens doors. And I just love to smile at people because when you smile at people, it really opens their heart to you and they smile back. And for me, I feel that it's much more easy to smile at someone than to ignore them. And maybe they're having a bad day or something, but you smile at them. And it makes it so much easier to talk to them. A lot of times they want to talk when you smile. And I just think that the world would be a lot better place and a happier place if more people smiled.
Couldn't agree more, Mary. I'm sure Debbie agrees as well. I'm curious if you heard the very early part of the show, Mary. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how this idea of one another, those of us greeting one another with a smile, maybe a kind word, has maybe fallen out of practice, through the course of your life. Because I know in my life, I've really seen less and less of that as I've gotten older. I don't know. Have you had the same experience?
Well, I find that with everything, yes, as stressful as everybody is today, that brings peace to the heart, I think, when you smile. That, it's something good that you can give to someone else. And I wanted to say, too, that I don't care whether the person is white, black, pink, purple, wearing a burqa. I smile at everybody, and you'd be surprised. You don't get rejection. They open their hearts to you, and they're just happy that someone recognizes them.
Mary,
you don't know what kind of a day the people are having. Maybe you would be the only good thing that happened to them that day. But it actually, I feel, is spreading the love of God among people.
Absolutely, Mary. Spreading the love of God. Absolutely. Mary, here's something that you said that I really just sat up straight in my chair, actually, and I said, wait, Mary's onto something here. You said that when you smile at somebody else, they smile back and then they want to talk. And that is, and here's what's interesting about that, Mary. We're in a world right now where we don't really talk to one another. We text each other, we email, we keep our heads down, we do as little bit of communication and talking like that as possible. But you said when you smile and somebody else smiles back at you, then you're opening up this dialogue. Mary, that's, I believe that's what God wants us to do, soul-to-soul connection, not through texting and do these. Yes, it's powerful. Absolutely. Wow.
I just, I don't care who it is. I've had such beautiful, beautiful conversations with people, and some of them have even turned into lasting relationships.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's what it's all about, Mary. And just think, if you hadn't taken that initiative and smiled and they received it in the way you intended it, their life could have been different. We don't know. You don't know, but God does know. And God inspires us to be just like you, Mary, and be a real sign of joy in people's lives. So thank you. Bless your heart, Mary. We're so glad you called.
God bless you. I listen to your show every night, and I usually don't catch it at lunchtime.
Oh, we're glad you did today.
Thank God for you.
Thank you, Mary. We thank God for you. So
God bless you.
Bless your heart. 1-800-585-9396. Steve on Facebook Live sent this in. He said, there's a poem my grandparents posted on the wall of their parlor. We'll post this on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie website, too, so if you can't write it down. Smile a while, and while you smile, another smiles. And soon there are miles and miles of smiles, and life's worthwhile because you smile. And Steve says that's by Kathleen J. Edgar. So thanks for posting that there, Steve. Cute, huh, Deb?
I love that. So we're going to post that? Yeah, can we post that? Because I couldn't write it down that fast. Wow, this is so good. Okay, so if you want to get on the show, Mary just freed up a line at 1-800-585-9396. That's the number to get on the show. We're talking about smiling today. And how do you feel about that? If you're on the receiving end of a smile, or if you're the one who smiles at people and opens up those doors the way Mary has done in her life. That is an evangelization tool. You heard it right from Mary's mouth. It lets people, it spreads the love of God, and being Christ out there is part of that, smiling. Paul, you're up next in Farmington, Michigan, listening on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Paul. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Hi. Hey, I just wanted to say, for me, smiling starts inside me to help me take me out of a mood that I might be in. So if I start smiling or waving wherever I am, it helps me to get going. And number one. And number two, a lot of times when I'm out say, shopping and my kids are with me, I will smile, and that will bring on a conversation. And my kids think I'm dopey for that. But, somebody in line that you don't know, all of a sudden you're having a conversation, and it's kind of cool.
Nice. So the smiling, when you smile, you're saying it helps you get into a better frame of mind, a better disposition.
Yes. Everyone's busy, going about their day or their work or whatever. And you get caught up in all that. And sometimes if I just turn on my smile, that helps me to, feel in a better place, I think.
I love that.
I've had books that I have, read about smiling and personalities and all that. I'm on a bumpy road here. And there's a science to it. And, there's all different kinds of smiles you can do. It doesn't have to be just one type of smile. sometimes you give that smile where your lips are tight. Sometimes if you do that, it's just like an acknowledgement. And I find that sometimes if you smile too wide to somebody, sometimes they get a turnoff from you. But you adjust your smile to the situation.
So there's an art to smiling.
There is.
Well, and I think what, Paul, you were saying is it comes from within, and I don't think it's something, and you can help me out with this, Paul, if you do this, if it's something that even we consciously think about. You mentioned the different types of smiles, the closed lip smile, the one with the teeth showing and all that. Some maybe show a little bit more exuberance than others, but I don't know. In my own experience, Paul, I don't really think about it, but I do flash those different kinds of smiles. I think it's just however the moment kind of hits us. Would that be your experience?
Yes. And sometimes, a smile to the opposite sex, you don't really want this big old flashing smile because you don't know. And a tight lip smile sometimes is just like an acknowledgement. Oh, hi, yep. You don't have to say anything. It's just, boom.
Yeah,
That's
go ahead,
a good
Debbie.
point. I was just going to say that's a good point because you're absolutely right. I mean, you're not going to flash all your pearly white teeth to somebody of the opposite sex, especially if you're married. That wouldn't be appropriate. It would be be a sign that you're. Yeah, that's very interesting. I never thought of it like that because you're absolutely right. There's certain situations that require a certain, maybe a look or a certain demeanor that we put forth. That's a good point. That makes sense.
Yeah, great point, Paul.
All right.
Good stuff. What's that, Paul?
Have a great day, and that's the other thing I like to say. Have a great day, and you say that with a smile on your face.
Yep. Keep smiling, Paul. Thanks for lightening up our day.
You betcha. Bye-bye.
Bye, Paul. Thank you.
Take two with Jerry and Debbie. 1-800-585-9396. Our discussion today is smiling, and do you like to get out there and maybe try and change people's mood, change their day, maybe turn their life in a better direction with a smile? God is the one who controls all of the results, the fruits of how we interact with other people, but what does smiling do for you when you do it to others or if others have done it to you? Share that here with Jerry and Debbie and the rest of us. Joan in Boston, listening on the Station of the Cross to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Hi, Joan. Welcome.
Oh, hi. Thanks for listening to me. I have a son, and he's, I've called before, you maybe remember me. He's 13. Mm-hmm. He has Down syndrome.
Yes.
And he talks to everyone and anyone he lays his eyes on, to the point where sometimes I'm afraid to take him out. And he calls everyone his brother and sister, even me. And he'll see someone, he'll say, "Hey, big brother Mike." And he'll bring me over. This is my mom. And I stand there and I think, oh, no, he's going to drag me over to another person. I mean, it's really every single person he meets. And then he takes a picture of them. And he always, I always have him ask if they would like their picture taken, Mm-hmm. And people tell me all the time he's made their day. And he gets away with doing things that most of us would never do. And I've seen it day in and day out, how he's changed people. And because I'm always afraid of the stranger thing, and I've given up because you can't hold him back. He's like a force to be reckoned with. And I've met homeless people. I've become friends with them because he'll sit on the sidewalk with them. Mm-hmm. Everyone and anyone. It doesn't matter if they look frightening, which scares me, quite frankly. But he doesn't. He engages with everyone. Mm-hmm. What's your name? My name, and then he spells his name. And he it doesn't stop. And I have to say, he likes priests the most. There's not a priest that goes by that he doesn't talk to. And he has like 950 people in his contacts on his iPad.
That's amazing.
Well, it's something else. I know. I have a friend who tells me you can tell a Christian by their smile, and I believe that's true. So I just wanted to add that, but.
Well,
it brings me out of my shell a little bit because that's not my style. I smile at people, but I don't go up to them, and he does. It brings everyone else around him too.
Well,
it's like a rally.
Yeah. Joan, first of all, I want to say, Jerry and I wanted to say it's good to hear from you again. Yes, we do remember you calling in. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And one thing that I just wanted to share, and I think Jerry and I we both have talked about this before, is that with your son, you said he has Down syndrome.
Yes.
He's all of his walls, he hasn't built those up, and that's what's so beautiful about it. He has, Jerry had said it's such an innocence, and that is so true. Whereas we have lost all that. We've built up these walls, and we've imprisoned ourselves in these walls, and so we keep people at arm's length or even further away. Whereas your son, he just taps right into their soul right at the very beginning, and I truly think that's where Christ resides. I do, because when you can, What do you think, Jerry?
I always call him the Christ. What am I saying? The Christ child. I always think of him as that, because when he got lost, and Mary lost him for 3 days, and he was in the temple. That would be my son talking to somebody somewhere and looking at. In fact, he did take off on us once, and he was at a neighbor's house, and the woman was waiting for us to come by, and she finally figured out we weren't coming, and she came back over. By then, the police were there, and he stands there in front of everybody. Everyone's like, their blood pressure is through the roof. We're all panicked. And he looks at us and says, "This is my new friend Carla." And it was innocent of him. We're like, "Where have you been?" And he said, "I'm at Carla's." It's like as if that's what his job is to do. It's something else. So.
Yeah, I love what Debbie said, that innocence, that purity, and it's child. You mentioned you call him the Christ child, and as Jesus so very bluntly said, unless we all become like little children, we cannot enter the kingdom of God. And so your son is really the embodiment, Joan, of who we all really should strive to be. And sometimes I think we look and yeah, he does have obviously some disadvantages in life, in the sense of maybe not having I don't know, all that the rest of us have in certain respects. But I mean, he has so many other advantages, and so it's not something, he's not somebody that we should pity or feel sorry for. I would emulate him. I feel like he's someone I want to emulate, actually.
Yeah, he's our hero. Absolutely.
He's something else. I used to be very like, "Oh, no, stop, don't do that. Come over here. Ask first to say hi," just to teach him the protocol. And I have a holy friend, and he said to me, "He's doing what God asks us all to do, and you're telling him not to do it."
Right.
And it's kind of eye-opening, And I thought,
because we can learn from your son. We can learn from your son.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I'm telling you, it's a ministry of his.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who knows him, anyone who's met him knows that.
Yeah.
And so we have to come out of our shells. I'm a bit timid about stuff like that,
Right.
I'm friendly, but I don't walk into a crowd chatting, and that's what he does.
Joan, have you ever imparted your son's first name to us? Do we have your son's first name?
His name is Ned, as he calls it, Ned, NED 1313.
Okay, well, tell Ned that he has friends here at Take Two.
Oh, okay, I will. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Joan.
Thank you, Joan.
Right.
God bless
Take
you. You're
care.
a great mom, Joan.
I try. Let's just say that. We'll see. God is my judge, right?
Yeah, that's true for all of us. Yeah. Thanks, Joan. God bless you.
Thank you. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.
All right, you too.
You too. Oh, I love her. I love hearing from her. Jerry, we got an interesting comment that came in from Russia, and I want you to help me with this. It says here, I didn't realize this. It says, in Russia, a smile is reserved for family and friends. It's very intimate, and they look down on us. So help me with this. So in Russia, you're only supposed to smile at family and friends? I
was not aware of that. It may be... it may be a cultural thing. I mean, when you think about sometimes, different cultures aren't as open and free. It's not that they don't feel that way toward other people, but maybe they are just a little bit more guarded. I don't know.
Or maybe it's not proper for their culture. That's true. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's like when you go into a different culture, what is the proper handshake? Do you bow? Do you kiss on both cheeks? So maybe that's a part of the different part of the world, a cultural thing. But yeah. So, and Margaret on Facebook Live also had a comment. She says, I try to always have a smile on my face. I find that when I smile at another person, they smile back. It fills my heart with joy every time. Margaret, that is beautiful. And again, just like Ned, Margaret, you are doing the work that Jesus calls us all to do. So it's something we all should really strive for more in our lives. And Deb, we'll get to more calls in just a few minutes, Joe and Jeannie, but we have a couple lines open we'd love to have filled right now.
So here's the number, 1-800-585-9396. You can be on the second half of the show, and the discussion is really vibrant. We love it. We're learning. We're growing. We're taking notes. And the whole idea of Take Two is to walk away a little bit changed, a little bit closer to God. And I think this is happening with this show. So make sure you participate. 1-800-585-9396.
A lot of great takes so far, and again, as promised, Joe will be next in South Dakota. Then we have Jeannie in Fort Collins, Colorado, but we have room for you. And everybody can have a take on this because we're talking about smiles today. Maybe, please, if you have difficulty smiling, if it doesn't come easy to you, you really have to try hard to smile, share that. Not because we want to shine a negative light on you, but we want to maybe help you come to a better place and be more free with just joy in your life and letting that kind of bubble up into a smile. So talking about how smiles change things on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Most reality TV leaves out half of reality, the faith that drives us from within. We're giving you the whole picture, real life and faith.
Chris Stefanik is on a journey to uncover the bold, courageous Catholic faith found in the hearts of people all over the world. Meet the everyday Catholics who inspire him as they show the world how amazing faith makes everyday life. Real Life Catholic, Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern on EWTN TV.
Dr. Ray Guarendi.
Psychological correctness is ruining parents. What is psychological correctness? It's the idea that says if you just say the right words with the right logic, using the right reinforcement schedule, and implementing the right I message, Melody will say, "Oh, Mother, I've just been so blind. Of course, I see parenting as you describe it." Psychological correctness is a quagmire. It leads to analysis paralysis, overthinking, overanalyzing, over-talking, under-enjoying. Psychological correctness essentially makes parents search for the appropriate ways to do it. Better to ask, how well is this working? In my family, with my children, and my morals.
Listeners to Catholic radio, I think, benefit most, at least initially, from what I call remedial catechesis. What Catholic radio does is it becomes an echo chamber for the teaching authority of the Catholic Church. And what we're doing is teaching many things which have been neglected over the last 40, 50 years. If you listen to Catholic radio, you know what the Catholic Church teaches.
Al Cresta thinks Catholic radio is important. So should you.
Wow, phone lines just lit right back up. I just love this. It's like it's a Christmas tree in August. I can't tell you how beautiful it is. We see these beautiful colors of there's green and red and yellow all over the computer screen and all of your names popping up. I just love it. It just it warms our hearts because it makes us realize how much you love Take Two. So thank you for that. And please keep in mind that we are trying to build the EWTN Catholic Radio Facebook page. We're almost up to 20,000 likes thanks to you. So please like the EWTN Catholic Radio Facebook page and Jerry and Debbie Facebook page as well. If you can do that for us, we would very much appreciate it. It's Jerry ampersand Debbie, so that little squiggly and between our names, and you can like that Facebook page for us as well. We would really just value it so much because we want to send really helpful content out to you so that it can maybe advance your faith walk. Okay, Joe, as promised, Jerry said you were up next listening on Real Presence Radio in South Dakota. Hi, Joe. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Oh, thank you so much. You were speaking about smiles. Well, I'm pushing 80, and my grandfather And my great-grandfather also did this. My grandfather carried his metal field mirror in his hip pocket at all times. And whenever two people would get into an argument and he was in their presence, he would pull it out. And it worked also with my grandmother when she'd get mad at him. But let me use my grandmother as an example. My grandmother would get mad at my grandfather for some reason or whatever, and she'd stand there like the European woman she was, with her hands on her hips and a big frown and a disgusting look on her face. And my grandfather would pull out his mirror and he'd say, "Well, you know now, when a lady smiles, she looks 10 years younger. But when she frowns, she looks 40 years older than her grandmother. And if you don't believe me, look in the mirror." And my grandmother would bust up laughing, and she'd forget all about what caused the arguments in the first place. And he'd do that with people who, if he was in the bar and they got it, and there was an altercation, he'd do the same thing there. And you cannot laugh and be mad at the same time. But now I also found out, after taking 15 trips to Europe, that a smile and a good morning or a good afternoon or a good evening will open up a lot of doors that are otherwise closed.
Sure.
People will open up to you. They will help you in any way they can just by giving them a smile and saying good morning or good afternoon or good evening. And you cannot beat a smile.
Joe, I have to ask you this. Please forgive me. I'm going to ask for forgiveness up front. It's my New Jersey Italian humor. So nobody ever took that mirror and broke it on your grandfather?
No, it was a steel mirror.
Oh, a steel mirror. How do you get a steel mirror?
It was a military.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Military field mirror.
A field mirror. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. So that's what you have to use.
I don't think they'd want to argue with my grandfather either. My grandfather was a little man. 6'4", 298 pounds.
Oh my goodness!
True. Yeah, I wouldn't break his mirror either.
And he was a well-muscular man. Well, what do you expect from a farmer? You know.
Well, I wonder, Joe, if it was his physical frame or the attempt at humor that disarmed your grandmother.
I think it was his humor, because my grandmother was 220 pounds at 5'10".
Yeah, and plus I'm sure she wasn't afraid of him.
No, she wasn't.
And he probably knew it.
No, she wasn't, because don't forget, at that time, all the frying pans were cast iron.
Wow.
And you had the old wash tubs that were galvanized, and you fill that with wet clothes, and she could pick that up with no problem. And her two sons, it takes two of her sons to pick it up, but she'd pick it up with no problem. So they were big people at that time.
That's brilliant, Joe. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
what a great story.
I mean, and I never forget it, because, if you ever watch a child, when they smile, their whole face lights up. So I think what my grandfather was saying was, when you smile, you're alive, but when you frown, you're dead. Because if you look at it that way, 40 years older than telling my grandmother, she looked 40 years older than her grandmother. She's saying, I think what she was saying was, you're dead if you don't smile.
That's a great point,
At least
Joe.
that's what you look like.
Yeah, that's a great lesson. And it really does. It raises a bigger question that we've alluded to a little bit, Debbie, on the show, and that is what's going on inside of us if we can't smile. Maybe we are dead in some way, emotionally, spiritually. We just don't have that joy, that life of Christ within us. So, yeah.
Well, Joe,
there's nothing like humor, and humor is the best medicine.
Oh, Joe, I couldn't agree more.
My grandmother, this is my father's mother now, she had a little saying, all children should be required to take 3 courses in school: Latin, music, and humor.
I love it.
Latin will teach you to think. Music will teach you to think on time, And humor will teach you to laugh at yourself after you've lost up the first two, and you'll never need a psychiatrist or psychologist.
That's true. Well, Joe, God bless you. You keep that youthful spirit. And here's the thing: you said you're pushing 80. You said you're pushing 80,
Yeah.
Joe. You add 80
I'm pushing 80.
well, you add 80 on top of that, Joe, because you've got a lot of life inside of you. We can hear it. So thank you for inspiring us today.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Have a great day. And as promised, we're going to continue along here talking about smiles. How about young? Anyone? Maybe a teenager, a 20-something, a young adult?
A millennial?
Yeah, millennial want to call in and say, what's your experience? Do you guys smile at each other like, maybe Joe's generation, Debbie and our generation?
We text smile. We
send
text.
Yeah. But that's another point. Is it all emojis now? Or so I'd love to hear a young person's take on this as well at 800-585-9396 as we go to Fort Collins, Colorado. Jeannie, welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Hello, Jeannie. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I enjoyed the topic today, smiling. It's something we take for granted.
Yeah.
But I just have a comment to make. My mother used to sing to us, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles at you. Louis Armstrong would sing that song.
We remember
I have
it.
an Amazon Echo that I play that all the time. Louis Armstrong.
I love it. We remember it quite well, Jeannie, and I tell you, it's so true. And I think if we bring smiles back, we can break down a lot of walls. There's a lot of people feeling like they're just in their own kind of world, and everybody's against them. And you're right, the whole world smiling at you. That's beautiful, Jeannie. Thank you. Yeah.
And when we think about the millions of people that go to Europe to see the Mona Lisa, that smile is so mystic and mysterious. And yeah, that's a great topic that you're talking about today. I'm enjoying it.
Well, I've got a question for you, Jeannie. You said you ask Amazon Echo to play this for you all the time.
Yes.
Does Amazon Echo ever say, hey, try listening to another song, or does she just faithfully play it for you every time?
Well, there's other songs that make me smile too, but that one really reminds me.
But I'm asking it kind of tongue in cheek because some afternoons after a hard day, I will maybe go onto YouTube or something and turn my speakers up in my office, and I'll find a song that I like, and I'll replay it and I'll listen to it, 4 or 5 times in a row sometimes, because maybe it's something I haven't listened to for a long time. So I can definitely appreciate that you do that, Jeannie. Absolutely.
Yes, it's a great puts everything into perspective.
Absolutely.
It
well,
does.
Nice job.
Thanks
for being part of the show today, Jeannie. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye, Jeannie.
Bye.
Hey, we got to let people know about wings, Debbie. You know about
Okay.
wings, right? Do you have your wings?
You mean angel wings? No. Okay. I do. It says here. Did you know that folks can stay up to date on the latest EWTN TV and radio shows? Do you know how, Jerry?
I do. They can get their wings.
Exactly. It's a weekly newsletter at EWTN.com. It's Wings, and it has books and art and CDs and DVD information from the EWTN Religious Catalog, plus blogs and news and events. And like we said, you can get just stay up to date on the latest EWTN television and radio shows. It's pretty cool. So get your wings today. Go to EWTN.com.
Okay, you're going right back to your phone calls about smiles today, and Nancy would be next, listening on Real Presence Radio in Fargo, North Dakota. Hello, Nancy. Thank you for joining us on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Hi, good morning. Nancy from Friendly Fargo.
Yes, welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. I think I have an antidote for road rage.
Okay.
And that is that I saw a lady do this in traffic, and I don't think we were moving real fast. I wouldn't try it if I were driving fast because you have to look back. But she put on her blinker and trying to get in front of me. And she put on her blinker and rolled down her window, waved her hand, and looked back and smiled. And, of course, who would not want to let her in, And I think it's a female thing, however. I think we're more readily, I wouldn't see can't picture a guy doing that, but for a gal, looking back and smiling and waving, and with a blinker on, you can you get to where you want to go in the lane you want to be in.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And Nancy, you have touched on an area for me where I have so much work to do. I'm gonna accuse myself right now on global radio and even video on the internet. I have a really, here's what it boils down to. I'm kind of an impatient driver. I've learned to be a lot more courteous, a lot more patient. But I find that, there are things that I like to do to kind of get where I'm going. And sometimes it's maybe speed up in front of somebody, or, I don't rudely cut in, but sometimes I'll try and go around somebody or whatever. And if people do certain things to me that I don't like, and this is, I think, a very common human experience, then I get a little impatient, and it's hard for me to smile. So I guess it just maybe depends on how my day is going or where I've just come from. If I'm in a good mood or, feeling happy about something, then it's a little bit easier to do that. But it sounds like, you've kind of got that a little bit more mastered than I do, Nancy.
I don't know that I do it all the time, but I do know that I know that tendency of thinking I'm late, I can't be late. And yet maybe I didn't start out right, you're talking about, and then it all boils down to being mad when you get there or whatever. But I found that I've started to, if I'm leaving home and I can't find something, I say, okay, I guess there's something God wants me to find that is not on my mind that I should bring. And I find that, and then I automatically find the thing I'm really looking for. And the other thing is that, same with when I'm driving and I'm in the car and I'm late, and I'm worried that I'll be late or what will they say. I don't know, but sometimes it works that they on the other end were so caught up in what they were doing or something, they couldn't be there long before I was there. So it wasn't, I didn't make them late. Mm-hmm. But I also have to work on being late. Besides
again, Nancy.
About here.
Yeah, forgive me for jumping all over you there. I apologize for that. But I think, again, this is one of those areas of life. And Debbie, maybe, I don't know what your kind of your modus operandi is while driving and, being charitable and polite and smiling. But, as you heard Nancy say, she thinks it's more of it's easier for women to be polite and courteous and smile to each other on the road than maybe for men, and I might agree with that. But what's your take on just flashing a smile to someone in the car next to you or who wants to merge in front of you?
Right. Well, I was actually chuckling as you were speaking, and I because I wave and smile at everybody. When my husband even says, "Why do you do that?" I'll go out of my way and wave and smile in a real pleasant way, and I'll even and it's just my way of saying thank you if they let me in. And I've always seemed to get people are very generous with me in letting me go in on the freeway and cut in and stuff. And I'm very I tend to be very polite like that, and I do agree that in my opinion, it could be a little bit easier for women to show that courtesy. But, I think we need more of it because, we're in a world where everybody's ready to put up their dukes and they're ready to come out striking, and that's not a good thing. So I was chuckling because that was me you were probably talking about on the road.
Oh, I hear you. And I agree with you, what you said, too. So thank you so much for... I'm just learning right now to relax and talk to people, and you're my guinea pig. So thank you for helping me say what I wanted to say without being so nervous.
Oh, absolutely.
You're welcome.
God bless you. I just love listening to you all.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pray for us, Nancy. Would you do that, and we'll pray for you?
And you will pray for me. I pray.
Absolutely.
You got it. You absolutely have it. Yeah. All right, over to Vicki in Mobile, Alabama, listening on Archangel Radio, one of our great affiliates. Thanks to all of our affiliates. And Vicki, you're up next with your take on smiling on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Hi, Vicki.
Hi, how are you today?
Good, real well. Thanks for calling.
Oh, well, thank you for taking my call. And I love to smile at everybody. And it always leads to something great, nice conversations. If they have children, I always tell them how beautiful their children are. and or tell them how nice they look, and I think that people need affirmation, and I always have my pockets stuffed full of things like the little Divine Mercy cards or the little baby feet, and then I offer those things to them, and then they really start smiling. And it just leads to such wonderful conversations, and it's just such a wonderful evangelization tool. And but it comes from my heart.
Yeah, it sounds like.
I really love people.
I was just going to say real quick, Vicki and Jerry, what Vicki's saying is so important, because making that smile, making that connection, and then you said you stuff your pockets with different things that are like of spiritual in nature. Well, think about this too. If you're wearing a crucifix, or you're wearing a miraculous medal or scapular or something of that nature that can possibly be seen. I know scapulars are not usually seen, but here's the thing. Now you've added an extra layer of that evangelization, because now they identify the smile, the spiritual gifts, and then they see that you are living your faith. You are really walking the walk and talking the talk. Wow, to me, it goes back to St. Francis. Preach the gospel always and use words if necessary. I know it's attributed to him. He may not have said it, but here's the thing. That is so true. You can just be living. You can just be in Christ. I love it, Vicki.
Well, I do have a 4-way medal on, and I also wear hats, and they have baby feet on there, or they have I Pray for America on there. I'm just a very visual person walking down the street, and I just love people, and I think that people just need the love and tenderness and support and affirmation, and I try to give them whatever I can to help them along.
Yeah,
and I love your program.
Oh, thank you, Vicki. Thank you for that. And you mentioned the children. That's one thing I really like to do, is when I see parents with kids in the store or whatever, I find it's a beautiful way to kind of, get the parents to feel affirmed and appreciated and so forth. I'll smile at the parent, and maybe I'll say a little word to the child. There was a mother and a boy in the store here a couple weeks ago, and I just looked down at the little guy and I said, "Hey, little guy," or something like this, and he goes, "Hi." And then I said, "Hi," and I'm walking away. I'm kind of going where I'm going, and they went down another aisle, and he kept going, "Hi," and waving back at me and stuff, and his mother was just beaming, and some parents get a little bit nervous about that, and you gotta be careful in today's world. Especially with kids, there are some people out there who are going to do unkind things, but I think it really can help in situations like that, and I just try and do that. So thanks again, Vicki, for the call. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Vicki. God bless you for that. Jerry, I just have to say real quickly, I didn't get to say this at the beginning of the show. I'm a big person that likes to connect with another person's eyes. I love looking into people's eyes. I just think it's mesmerizing in the sense of, because the eyes are the windows to the soul, and it's a very unique place when you're connecting eye to eye. And so I tend to compliment people's eyes, because I have seen some of the incredibly, just the coolest eyes you can ever imagine. Some are different colors. Like there was a lady the other day, she had one brown eye and one green eye. And it was amazing. And, it's interesting when you comment on people's eyes, it really does open those doors to that conversation. So I just wanted to share that as well, but I wanted to get that on the show. Okay, Richard. Richard's up next in Lubbock, Texas. Hi, Richard. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Hi.
Hey, Richard.
Y'all doing okay?
Yeah, you sound like you're smiling, Richard.
I am. I'm actually calling from Lubbock, Texas. I know it's kind of unfair, because here in the South we're extremely friendly with each other, but I know you all wanted a millennial to call, so I thought I'd take the opportunity and call.
Great.
Thank you.
Let you all know that I love smiling at people, and especially here in Lubbock, it's a very common thing for everyone to even greet each other and ask how each other's day is without you even knowing, the other person. So, and I think that's a beautiful thing, and it goes a long way just to be an example of Christ's love to one another.
All right, so Richard, you find that your peers as well, other millennials, kind of do the same thing that you do then?
A lot of the people I associate myself with, yes. I feel unfortunately, it's kind of a dying trend. because everyone's so attached to their cell phones nowadays. They don't even look up at each other. But, yeah, I feel that there are still people my age that do smile at each other, make the effort to do so anyway.
Well, Richard, I was just going to say I prayed to God that my boys would smile all the time, because the amount of orthodontia payments we had to pay so that they could have perfectly straight teeth, I was praying that they wouldn't get their head buried in cell phones, because a lot of parents have spent a lot of money on braces, and so you want your kids to smile. Right, Richard. But it's true, though. Your generation really does is using technology to replace those interpersonal, relationships that can cultivate into wonderful, beautiful Christian fellowship.
Right. It is very unfortunate.
All right, Richard. Well, it sounds like you may be driving, so we wish you safety there if that is indeed the case. And thanks so much for weighing in as a millennial today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We got time for another one, hopefully maybe two. Cecilia in Brighton, Michigan has us on Ave Maria Radio. Hello, Cecilia. You're next on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Yes, good morning. I think it's still morning. No, maybe not. Anyway, there's so much that I've heard that I can very well relate to, talking to people and walking down the street, especially like in the grocery store, and, people with children like that. And I had this one grandson that lives in Arizona, and he's out here now visiting with us before he starts his first year of college. And when I was out there, I saw this smile on his face that I have a picture of my father who passed away at only 48 years old. But the smile on Jake's face and on my father's, it just, it put me in the mind of Jake so much. So I took a picture of my father's picture to send him to, how, that smile was there. And I find that, I feel, in the morning, you pray to do God's will and go where He wants you. And it seems that so many times when I've talked to people or, bring up a conversation or just a smile, and it's like, a lot of times we are, where God wants us to be, that we're like a blessing to them, God's blessing to them. And it just really touched my heart. And what I have this prayer card of Saint Mother Teresa, and it says, "Peace begins with a smile." And it says, "Holy Teresa, smiles should come easy, yet we find them sometimes very difficult. Your faithfulness to God's love showed you how to live each day in the divine. Where God's love smiles upon you, help us to see God's smile, to know His love, and to find the strength to transform our world with a simple, loving smile. We ask in Christ's name, amen." And I just thought that was so beautiful that I'd like to share that.
That is beautiful, Cecilia. And we know from the Bible it says in heaven all tears and sorrow and everything will be wiped away. Well, what does that mean? That means there's going to be smiles and laughter and happiness and joy. So thanks, Cecilia. Donnie and Jennifer and the others wish we had time. We just simply don't. But another episode of Take Two coming tomorrow.
We do. We have another one planned for you, and we want to hear from you. We titled it, "I'm Okay Now." Have you come through something very devastating, but you've survived and you've made it through, and we want to hear from you tomorrow.
That's on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. In the meantime, like EWTN Catholic Radio on Facebook. Please, will you do us a favor, too, and like Jerry and Debbie, & Jerry and Debbie on Facebook. Until tomorrow, have a beautiful and blessed day.